What if I told you that certain words, written thousands of years ago, hold the key to transforming your financial reality? I have applied these secrets. Other multimillionaires have done the same. And now, you have the opportunity to use them as well. But pay close attention, the most crucial part of this video is at the end. If you skip it, you will miss the most powerful link connecting wealth to your destiny. Now, let's get straight to the point. If you believe that making money is difficult, that only a select few have access to wealth, then I have something important to tell you: your mind has been conditioned for scarcity. And this isn't just a philosophical or spiritual idea, it's backed by science. Our minds filter information based on what we believe. Neuroscientific research confirms that the human brain has a system called the reticular activating system, which acts like a radar, focusing on what we consider important. If you believe that money is scarce, your brain will only notice situations that reinforce this belief. However, if you change your mental programming, you will begin to see opportunities everywhere. The Bible tells us, if you can believe, all things are possible for the one who believes. Mark 9 verse 23. You might interpret this as a religious statement, but consider this: science has repeatedly demonstrated that our mindset directly influences our results. The psychologist Albert Bandura, one of the most renowned researchers on human behavior, developed the concept of self-efficacy, which explains how our beliefs about ourselves determine what we can achieve in life. People who believe they can become wealthy, even if they start with nothing, have a much greater chance of success than those who see themselves as victims of their circumstances. If you think this is just motivational talk, let me share something with you. A few years ago, researchers at Stanford University conducted a study proving that mindset has a greater impact on performance than any external factor. They observed two groups of students. One was taught to believe that intelligence is fixed, while the other was encouraged to see intelligence as something that can be developed through effort and practice. The results were astonishing. Those who believed in growth performed significantly better than those who thought their intelligence was limited. Now, imagine applying this same principle to your relationship with money. If you start believing that you have the ability to attract wealth, your mind will begin to seek out opportunities where you previously saw obstacles. And now, I want you to do an exercise. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 negative beliefs you have about money. Something like, making money is hard, I will never be rich, or I am not good with finances. Now, next to each one, write a new, positive belief to replace it. For example, money comes to me in many ways, I have the potential to become a millionaire, or I am learning about finances every day. Read these new beliefs aloud every day. It may sound simple, but it works. This is exactly how you begin to reprogram your mind for wealth. Many people spend their entire lives trapped by a fear they don't even recognize: the fear of scarcity. They don't invest, they don't take risks, they don't grow. And the worst part? They don't realize that this very fear is what keeps their lives stagnant. The parable of the talents, one of the most well-known stories in the Bible, illustrates this perfectly. 3 servants were given talents by their master. 2 of them invested their money, made it grow, and were rewarded. But the third, paralyzed by fear of losing what he had, buried his talent in the ground. What happened? He lost everything. This story may seem simple, but it plays out constantly in the real world. Think about the last time you had a business idea, an opportunity to grow, a chance to step out of your comfort zone. What did you do? If your first reaction was to doubt, hesitate, or tell yourself that perhaps now is not the right time, then you have already experienced the fear of scarcity. This fear, though irrational, holds immense power. It stems from deeply ingrained beliefs that have been embedded in us since childhood. If you grew up hearing phrases such as, money doesn't grow on trees, those born poor will remain poor, or anyone with a lot of money must have done something wrong, then, without realizing it, you internalized the notion that wealth is distant, almost unattainable. The consequence? You remain stuck in the same place, never daring to take risks beyond the bare minimum needed to survive. A revealing study from the University of Cambridge found that beliefs about money are formed before the age of 7. This means that if you were raised in an environment where fear of lack dominated, that fear may have shaped your entire financial outlook up to this point. However, there is good news. You can reprogram your mind and break this cycle. If we look at the wealthiest people in the world, they all had to overcome this fear. Elon Musk invested nearly everything he had into his companies, taking the risk of losing millions. He could have failed, but instead, he became one of the most influential figures of our time. Jeff Bezos, before founding his global empire, walked away from a stable, well-paid job because he believed in the potential of digital business. If they had allowed fear to control them, they would never have achieved the success they enjoy today. There is an important distinction to be made here. This is not about being reckless or irresponsible. The key difference between a calculated risk and sheer foolishness lies in strategy. The real issue with the fear of scarcity is not fear itself, but how it paralyzes people. The solution lies in shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you might lose, start thinking about what you could gain. Few people recognize the profound impact of the words they speak daily. Yet the truth is that the language you use shapes your reality, influences your financial results, and ultimately determines the level of success you will achieve. The Bible has warned about this for thousands of years. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18 verse 21. This may seem like a purely spiritual concept, but modern science confirms a direct link between the way we speak and the outcomes we experience. A study conducted by Harvard University examined the linguistic patterns of financially successful individuals and compared them to those struggling with money. The findings? Wealthy individuals spoke in a completely different manner from those constantly battling financial difficulties. While successful people used phrases such as, "I can," "I learn," and "I deserve," those facing financial hardship frequently said, "This is difficult, I never have enough money, and I can't do it." The research demonstrated that these language patterns directly influenced their decisions, emotions, and even the opportunities they recognized in their lives. Take a moment to reflect on the words you use when discussing money, opportunities, or your own ability to build wealth. Do you find yourself saying, "I am terrible with money, money is hard to come by," or "I am always broke"? If so, you must understand that this is not just a language habit, it is actively programming your mind to perceive a world where financial abundance remains out of reach. This is not magic, it is science. Positive psychology has proven that the human brain responds to the words we use. If you begin affirming phrases daily such as, "Money flows to me easily and consistently," or "Financial opportunities are always within my reach," your brain will start identifying ways to turn those statements into reality. Will Smith once said, "Words and thoughts have power." If you want a different life, you need to start speaking differently. This does not mean that simply repeating positive affirmations will make you wealthy overnight. However, changing the way you speak shifts your mindset to an entirely different level. You will begin to behave like a prosperous individual, make wiser decisions, and, without even realizing it, attract circumstances that once seemed unattainable. If you want to reap different financial results in your life, you must first plant something different. This is one of the simplest yet most powerful truths of the universe, and yet, most people completely disregard this principle. They desire abundance, prosperity, and financial freedom, yet they spend their entire lives without sowing anything that could yield such outcomes. Even worse, in many cases, they are planting precisely the opposite of what they hope to harvest. The Bible taught this lesson thousands of years ago: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6. This is not merely a religious teaching, it is a fundamental principle that governs every area of life, particularly finances. When you realize that everything you do is a seed, you begin to pay closer attention to the quality of what you are planting. Money follows the same law. If you cling to every penny out of fear of loss, if you have a scarcity mindset and believe that giving will leave you with less, then you are sowing fear, and the only possible harvest will be more fear and more scarcity. However, if you learn to plant wisely and with confidence, understanding that there is a cycle of return, your financial reality transforms. Have you ever noticed that millionaires, successful entrepreneurs, and accomplished investors are all generous givers? This is no coincidence. A study conducted by the University of Notre Dame found that generous individuals tend to experience greater financial success over the course of their lives. Why? Because when you allow yourself to give, you fundamentally alter your relationship with money. You begin to see it as a flowing resource rather than a finite asset. And when you perceive money in this way, you naturally start attracting more of it. Now, it is important to understand that giving does not mean blindly handing over money to any cause without thought. It means planting your seed in fertile soil. It means investing in the growth of others, supporting causes that make a real difference, and dedicating resources to your own education and development, because all of these actions generate returns. When you pay for a course, you are sowing knowledge. When you invest time and effort into your personal growth, you are planting the seeds of success. And the harvest always comes. Most people fail to realize just how transformative gratitude can be for both their financial and emotional well-being. They assume that gratitude should only be felt when they achieve significant milestones, such as a pay rise, a new car, or their dream home. However, this is one of the greatest misconceptions, because gratitude does not work in this way. Gratitude is not a byproduct of success, it is the cause of success. If you are unable to feel gratitude for what you have now, even if it seems like very little, you will never be able to attract more. This is not just a spiritual lesson, it is a truth supported by neuroscience and psychology. Researchers at the University of California conducted a fascinating experiment in which two groups of people were observed. One group was instructed to write down at least 3 things they were grateful for each night, while the other group carried on with their daily routine without any gratitude practice. The results? Within a few weeks, those who practiced gratitude reported significantly higher levels of happiness, lower stress levels, and, most importantly, they began to notice more financial and professional opportunities. This happens because gratitude alters the brain's chemistry, enhancing the production of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters responsible for feelings of well-being and motivation. When your mind operates in a state of abundance and positivity, it starts to perceive solutions and opportunities that were previously invisible. The Bible stated this thousands of years ago: to those who have, more will be given, but to those who do not have, even what they have will be taken away. Matthew 25 verse 29. This verse has puzzled many people, but when viewed through the lens of gratitude, it makes perfect sense. If you acknowledge and appreciate what you have, you generate an energy field of abundance that attracts more. If you only complain about what you have and focus on what is lacking, you enter a cycle of scarcity where everything seems increasingly out of reach. One of the most striking stories I encountered about this was that of a businessman I met years ago. He owned a promising company but constantly complained about everything. He said his clients were not good, his team did not put in enough effort, and the market was too challenging. Nothing was ever enough for him. Even as his business grew, he never felt satisfied. The outcome? He lost everything. What he failed to realize was that his mindset of chronic dissatisfaction was sabotaging every decision he made. If you want to transform your life, start applying this principle right away. Take a piece of paper and write down 5 things you are grateful for today, particularly in your financial life. It could be something small, like a bill that has been paid, an opportunity that arose, or even the knowledge you are acquiring. Make this a daily habit. Before going to bed, write down 3 things you were grateful for that day. When you wake up, reflect on them. In a short time, you will notice a significant shift in the way you perceive life, and more importantly, you will see how your reality begins to align with this new mindset. The way you envision your future has a direct impact on your financial reality. Your mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. This means that if you constantly see yourself in difficulty, your mind will work to maintain that reality. On the other hand, if you visualize yourself living in abundance, making confident decisions, and thriving, your mind will start creating the pathways to turn that vision into reality. This is not just an inspiring idea, it is a scientifically proven concept. Studies from Yale University have shown that athletes who trained solely through mental visualization achieved nearly the same results as those who trained physically. The brain does not distinguish a vivid experience from reality, and you can use this to your advantage. From an early age, we are taught to believe only in what we can see. Yet everything that exists today was once merely an idea in someone's mind. The aeroplane that transports millions of people around the world began in the imagination of the Wright brothers. The Apple empire was born from Steve Jobs' vision in a garage. Successful entrepreneurs and millionaires understand this principle. They do not just work hard, they build the internal image of success long before it materializes. They know they must see the result before anyone else does. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, stated that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This means that before any financial success, you must first create that success in your mind. Many people doubt this concept because they have never tried applying it correctly. Visualization is not merely wishing for something, it is about feeling it, experiencing it internally, and bringing forth emotions as if it were already real. The more detailed and immersive your visualization, the more powerful it becomes. If you still think this is an abstract concept, consider that NASA trains astronauts using visualization techniques before placing them in real-life simulations. They must envision every step, every detail, every movement. This mental rehearsal forms neural connections that make real-life execution more instinctive when the moment arrives. You could apply this same technique to your financial life. Close your eyes and picture yourself managing money with ease, making wise investments, and achieving your goals. Feel the excitement, the security, the confidence. Practice this daily and observe how your mindset begins to transform. Success is never achieved in isolation. If you want to improve your financial situation, the first step is to look around and consider the people you spend the most time with. A fundamental principle governs your level of prosperity: you are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. This means that if you are surrounded by negative individuals who constantly complain, believe that money is hard to earn, and view success as unattainable, you are likely absorbing the same mindset without realizing it. Conversely, if you surround yourself with ambitious, forward-thinking people who focus on growth and discuss opportunities instead of problems, your mindset will naturally elevate to a higher level. This concept has been taught for centuries. As the Bible states, "He who walks with the wise will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm," Proverbs 13 verse 20. This is not just a spiritual lesson, but a principle backed by scientific research. A comprehensive study conducted by Harvard University examined the impact of social circles on financial well-being and found that individuals who spend time with successful people significantly increase their own chances of success. This occurs because we unconsciously absorb the behaviors, habits, and thought patterns of those around us. I have heard many accounts of people who experienced financial growth simply by changing their social circles. I once met a man who was stuck in a group of friends who constantly discussed hardships, economic crises, and financial struggles. He related to their narrative, and no matter how hard he tried to improve his situation, he felt as though something was always holding him back. It was only when he chose to connect with people who had a broader vision, who recognized opportunities, and who focused on personal and financial growth that his reality started to shift. Within a few years, he built a thriving business, not because he discovered a secret formula, but because he began adopting an abundance mindset. This transformation happens because our brains are continuously learning and adapting to our environment. If you spend most of your time hearing complaints, negativity, and excuses, you will inevitably begin to mirror those patterns. However, if you immerse yourself in an environment where success is the norm, where discussions about investments, progress, and innovation are commonplace, your mind will start operating at that same frequency. This is precisely why millionaires and billionaires join exclusive groups, engage in strategic networking, and surround themselves with individuals who drive them forward. Many people aspire to wealth, but few are willing to cultivate the discipline required for true financial stability. It is not about how much money you earn, but rather how you manage it. The reality is that a lack of financial discipline has destroyed more fortunes than any economic crisis ever has. How often do we hear stories of individuals who won vast sums in the lottery, only to find themselves bankrupt a few years later? Or of athletes and celebrities who amassed immense wealth but ended up in financial ruin? This happens because money without control is like sand slipping through one's fingers. If you do not know how to preserve and grow it, it will vanish. The Bible illustrates this lesson clearly in the parable of the prodigal son. A young man received his share of the inheritance, but instead of managing it wisely, he squandered everything recklessly. He indulged in luxury, enjoyed every moment, but failed to plan for the future. The consequence? He ended up in poverty. This is not merely a religious lesson, but an undeniable financial principle. Those who fail to control their finances will inevitably be controlled by them. A study by Ramsey Solutions revealed that nearly 78% of people living paycheck to paycheck do not have a clear budget for their expenses. They simply spend as money comes in, without any structured planning. This creates a vicious cycle where they never feel they have enough, as their earnings vanish quickly. Financially successful individuals, on the other hand, do the exact opposite. They track every penny, know precisely where their money is going, and most importantly, prioritize investing before spending. Warren Buffett, one of the most accomplished investors in history, once stated, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." This is a fundamental rule of financial discipline. Before considering unnecessary purchases or spending on things that add no real value, one must first ensure that a portion of their income is being saved and invested for the future. Those who maintain financial discipline do not let emotions dictate their financial decisions. They avoid impulsive spending, do not buy things merely to impress others, and do not live beyond their means. If you wish to take control of your financial future, start by establishing a clear plan for your money. Set aside a fixed percentage of your income for investments before anything else. Create a structured budget and adhere to it strictly. Resist impulsive purchases, and above all, have a clear purpose for your money. Your money should work for you, not the other way around. Many people believe that working harder automatically leads to greater wealth. They push themselves to exhaustion, sacrifice sleep, and miss out on valuable moments with family and friends, all in pursuit of financial success. However, there is a secret that few truly understand: relentless work does not necessarily lead to higher productivity. In fact, it may be sabotaging your financial growth. Scientific research has already confirmed that adequate rest significantly enhances both productivity and creativity. Interestingly, this principle was established thousands of years ago in biblical teachings, long before modern studies validated its effectiveness. Researchers from Stanford University have demonstrated that after a certain number of hours worked, productivity plummets. Those who overwork themselves tend to make more mistakes, make poorer decisions, and lose their ability to innovate. In other words, if you feel like you are working tirelessly yet making little progress, the issue may not be the amount of effort you are putting in, but rather the lack of a strategic approach. Proper rest allows the brain to process information more effectively, discover innovative solutions, and identify opportunities that exhaustion would otherwise obscure. Many of history's greatest minds understood this principle. Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and even modern business magnates like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates recognize rest as an essential component of creativity and sound decision-making. The human brain is not designed for continuous work. When we rest, we activate areas responsible for insight, creativity, and strategic thinking. Have you ever noticed how your best ideas often come to you while taking a shower or going for a walk? This happens because, during those moments, your brain is relieved from overload and can connect information more efficiently. Even the financial elite understand the importance of recharging their energy. Have you ever noticed how the most successful entrepreneurs make it a priority to take regular holidays? How CEOs of major corporations dedicate time to leisure and reflection? This is not indulgence, it is a strategy. Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, has openly stated that the best decisions he has made in his career came during moments of relaxation and detachment. When you allow yourself to step away, your mind gains the space to think on a grander scale, to innovate, and to discover solutions that a relentless routine simply would not permit. Many people spend their entire lives waiting for the right moment to take action. They claim they will start once they have more financial resources, more time, or when they feel better prepared. However, the truth is that the perfect moment never arrives. There will always be obstacles, uncertainties, and challenges ahead. If you are waiting for every condition to be ideal before taking a step towards your dreams, you will end up waiting indefinitely. Success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who take action, even in less than perfect circumstances. Faith without action is meaningless. Believing that you can achieve something holds no value unless you actively pursue it. Many people profess to have faith but remain paralyzed by fear, doubt, and hesitation. True faith is trusting that, even without having all the answers, you are on the right path and that the universe will respond to your efforts. Thomas Edison did not know precisely how to create the light bulb before he began working on it. He did not wait to have all the answers before taking action. Instead, he experimented, failed thousands of times, and eventually discovered the solution. Had he waited for the perfect moment, we might still be in darkness today. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they must have everything meticulously planned before they start. They seek guarantees, absolute certainty, and a path free of mistakes. However, growth comes from movement. You will learn far more by taking action than by endlessly planning. Steve Jobs had no way of knowing exactly how Apple would become one of the largest companies in the world when he started. Yet, he had the courage to take the first step without having all the answers. He trusted that he would learn along the way. This mindset is what separates those who achieve great things from those who spend their lives merely dreaming. I have seen countless brilliant individuals with incredible ideas, but they never brought them to life because they were waiting for the right time. They wanted more money, more knowledge, more experience. Meanwhile, others with fewer resources, less expertise, and less experience took the plunge and achieved success. In the end, what truly matters is not what you know, but how you apply what you know. The difference between those who build their dream lives and those who remain stuck in the same place is not luck or innate talent, but the consistent application of knowledge. Now that you have these key insights, the choice is yours. If you are committed to continuous growth and want to become 1% better than you were before watching this, your next step is right in front of you. The next video appearing on your screen contains an even more powerful lesson that can accelerate your results and transform the way you perceive success. So, do not stop here. Click now on the next video and keep progressing on this journey of self-improvement. Thank you for being here and for investing this time in your personal growth. I will see you there.